Robert Kane had always treasured the solitude of his grandfather's weathered log cabin in Pine Valley, Colorado. After 15 intense years as an FBI agent, hunting federal criminals, and losing his partner in a disastrous operation that still plagued his dreams, he'd retired 3 years ago to this tranquil haven. His days were routine: rise at dawn, brew potent coffee, nurture his tomato patch, and shut out the world's madness. That peace crumbled when Linda Graves moved next door, transforming the neighborhood into her private battleground. Linda arrived armed with an arsenal of warning signs and an unyielding gaze. Robert spotted her almost immediately, lurking behind curtains with binoculars, scrutinizing the street like a sentinel in enemy territory. He dismissed it as newcomer anxiety. People adapt in odd ways, but his trained instincts screamed otherwise. She wasn't curious. She was spying, positioning an antique camera directly at his property, as if he were a high-value target. Robert debated confronting her, but after witnessing humanity's darkest sides, he yearned for harmony. Unbeknownst to him, Linda's delusions were brewing a storm that would unearth buried traumas and splinter the community, sparking fierce debates about vigilance turning toxic. The spark ignited one ordinary morning. Robert's phone buzzed with a message from his former crew. Paul Riley, his ex-partner, a hulking SWAT veteran with a jagged scar from a vicious Chicago bust. Tom Vargas, the forensics specialist, now a county examiner, forever toting his black duffel. Sam Lee, the cyber expert with his fortified laptop. And Jack Nolan, the money laundering pro who still suited up like he was testifying in court. Time for an intervention, Robert. You're becoming a recluse. We're in route, no excuses. As their vehicles rolled in, Robert glanced outside and chilled. Linda was there, notepad flying, lens fixed on the scene. In her warped view, these aging vets weren't buddies reminiscing. They were operatives launching a covert menace. Their eyes locked briefly, hers burned with righteous fury. She saw assassins where there were only creaky knees and tall tales. By 8:45, car doors banged shut like warning shots. Paul emerged first, striding with commanding presence. Tom lugged his bag stuffed with pastries and insulin, but to Linda, it screamed arsenal. Sam's laptop looked like spy tech, and Jack's attire yelled Fed. Linda sprang into action, crouched at her relic fax machine, convinced vintage tech evaded hackers, blasting alerts. Sleeper cell engaging at 1247 Pine Street. 5 armed males with elite gear. Deploy now. She bombarded 911 5 times in an hour, escalating hysteria, coded gestures, weapon assembly noises. Deputies showed by 9:15, wary yet obligated. Sheriff Monroe, who'd collaborated with Robert on a smuggling case, verified IDs swiftly. Apologies, Robert. Caller might need decoff. As they departed without incident, Linda's visage reddened from her vantage, ranting about infiltrated enforcers. Defeat? Not as fueled her conspiracy blaze. Refusing surrender, Linda morphed her home into a command hub by 10 o'clock. Bulletin board webbed with threads linking plots, snapshots of Robert's place marked hazard sites. She stormed doors, dossier in tow, evangelizing dread. At elderly Mrs. Ellis's stoop, she unveiled doctored images. He's endangering your family, act before it's too late. The widow, once cordial, now viewed Robert's cabin with terror. Garcia, the site boss with kids, morphed from doubt to panic over assault rigs. The Millers nodded solemnly. Even the Taylors, aided by Robert with a flat tire, murmured doubts. By 10:30, she'd mustered a dozen for a crisis assembly curbside, projector beaming, spotting neighborhood perils. Charts branded Paul's truck stealth assault vehicle, Tom's sack, bioweapons. The group former friends who'd shared grills with Robert acquiesced, paranoia viraling. How swiftly could whispers shatter bonds? Linda exploited latent fears, morphing tedium into espionage saga. Digitally, her site, Pine Valley Sentinel, detonated. Entries on verified insurgent hub, annotated pics viraling in forums like Rocky Watch and Defenders Alliance. Outsiders chimed. Speculations of shadow gov ops, demands for mob justice. Her fundraiser for probes amassed $2,000 rapidly. Midday ushered media frenzy. Channel 9's van screeched up, journalist Sarah Brooks prepping broadcasts. Linda shone, flaunting proof, from web hunts as classified intel. Encrypted talks, combat tools. Authorities compromised. Audiences devoured it, igniting clashes. Heroic sentinel or reckless agitator. Net's buzz defenders praised her guts against hidden evils. Critics blasted false alarms eroding freedoms, fueling rows on mental health stigma versus public safety rights. As Robert mulled relocation, a dark SUV pulled up. Agent Daniel Ford from Denver FBI approached, file thick. Linda glowed triumph. But Ford's voice sliced, MS. Graves or Margaret Hayes? Your hoax trail spans states. Bombshells dropped. Margaret's record, Arizona restraints post, 47 sham alerts, Utah psych mandates for family torments, Nevada 911 bans. She preyed on lone males, ex-cops especially, concocting dangers to shield societies. Deeper, her frenzy rooted in sorrow. 3 years back, her phony tip on a shady motorist incited a pursuit killing her son Ethan missed in shadows. Guilt denied, she recast as Redeemer, every fabrication a penance proxy. Yet it metastasized, invading 17 local dwellings, seeding cams and phony contraband, breaching systems, pocketing $50,000 from gullible backers. Not mere madness-calculated terror, dubbed homegrown extremism. Locals reeled misses. Ellis recoiled. You claimed he stalked me. Garcia raged over defense dues. Ford listed felonies, harassment, scams, intrusions. Cuffs snapped as Margaret murmured, saving lives. But her gaze fractured with dawning truth. The bust stirred storms. Villain or trauma casualty. Forums flared. Empathizers argued for compassion, citing failed systems. Hardliners pushed severe sentences, warning of copycat chaos undermining justice. Post-arrest, Pine Valley reborn. Regrets swamped Robert. Dishes, vintages, treats. Shaken by susceptibility, they birthed fact-check squads, dialogue forums. Robert's pals hosted clinics, defense drills, scam alerts, digital shields. Poetically, Margaret's zeal unveiled a 47-strong syndicate nationwide, luring Robert into FBI advisory. He joined, seeing predators cloak in safeguard veils, fraying fabrics. Later, Margaret drew 4 years incarceration, therapy enforced. Apology notes flowed, remorse evident, yet relapses lingered. Pine Valley emerged Colorado's securest, resilient beacon. But controversies simmered. When does watchfulness warp to tyranny? Margaret's saga muddied boundaries, compelling raw queries on grief's toll, responsibility, and suspicion's shadows. Ultimately, her phantom foes spawned authentic guardians and a stark warning that guardians can become the gravest perils, veiled in virtue.